There we go.
Hello, hello, hello. This is the Mark Atwood Show, Adventures in a Meat Suit. Today I'm joined by James Rowlands. Hello, James.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
I'm very good. Whereabouts are you, James?
Stratford-upon-Avon, the town of William Shakespeare.
Oh, wow. Shakespeare. He didn't really write those plays, did he?
Yeah, well, we know that, and unfortunately, the historians won't tell you anything different because it's quite a wealthy town due to tourism. So
I stayed in a cottage there by the river once, and it was just Shakespeare everywhere.
Oh, it's madness. The amount of tourism we get here from the Chinese, the foreigners, they're absolutely mad for it. And certainly in the height of the summers, usually it's just a crowded town full of just obsessed people with Shakespeare, really.
Well,
I just smile.
I know we're here to talk about other stuff, but it's actually an interesting subject that we've started with Shakespeare because I know Shakespeare's, but I read all Shakespeare's plays. They're incredible. They're incredible esoteric documents that understand the nature of reality. It's very, very. I mean, Shakespeare was basically a drunken actor, right? Who they obviously. So he's like a gatekeeper, isn't he? Like, put this character up front, tell this story. Whole industry off the back of it, kind of in a way.
And language wasn't part of the English language slightly changed with the wordings that he was using. Am I correct in that?
Well, I'm of the opinion that the English language has been changed over time deliberately because words are spells.
Correct, and that's one thing I have come to understand myself over the last few months. So I am actually very wary in what I actually say because it is true. Spellings, it's a spell, and you are casting spells upon yourself with what you actually say. Like the law of attraction, you're attracting the words that you actually say to you. You're saying whether it's negative to somebody else, you're actually drawing that back into yourself. I feel that, and I just sort of know that as well. It's that's what I've come to learn. That's what I've come to learn myself.
It's incredible once you see it. You know, I was in a cafe the other day and I walked in and went, "Good morning," and I went, "Oh, I should stop saying that because the word morning means death."
Death. Yeah, of course.
So it's a good day instead.
It's. I think moving forward. I mean, obviously, I think the English language is going to have to change considerably. I think because we're just constantly casting spells on ourselves without realizing what we're actually doing.
100% right. And it's a bit like, if the good times are coming, which I think they are, legalese is another thing that people don't understand because it looks like English, but it isn't. And it's a trap. So if we're creating reality, the words have been changed over time in order to create the reality that they want us to create.
Correct.
That keeps us in the pen so they can keep feeding off us. That's basically what
I agree, 100%. 100%.
We weren't
100%. I'm just so careful what I actually say now. I try and I do affirmations. There are regular times where I am affirmations, and they're positive affirmations. So what I try and do is use these affirmations that are just basically try and keep these spells away from me and to keep my mind and how I'm thinking in a very positive way. So I don't get so many blockages, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense. I've done a lot of lectures and talks on affirmations, and I remember doing one in London where I had about 100 kids from underprivileged backgrounds, is probably the best way of describing it. And I asked them all to write down what they wanted to be in life. And it's a good exercise for anybody to go through that. And they all wrote down, I want to be rich. I want to be, the usual stuff. I want to be happy.
Yeah, of course.
I want to be prime minister. So it took about half an hour for them to all write it down. And I got them to read them out. And then I said, do you want the good news or the bad news? And they said, bad news? What's the bad news? I said, well, the bad news is that none of the things that you've written down are going to come true. And they went, what? And I said, because you said, I want. And when you say I want, you come from a place of lack. And the universe gives you exactly what you've asked for, so you don't get it. So you say, I want to be. And the other thing is they're not specific enough. You've got to be very, very specific. So then I took them through the process of saying, now rewrite them and saying, I am, like you just said, which is an affirmation. And then when they do that, I take them through another step. And the other step, you might like this, is afformations instead of affirmations. So instead of saying, I am, you know, I am living in my perfect house, you would change it to, why am I living in my perfect house?
Right, okay.
And because you're asking a question, you change it. The universe can't process a negative, and it has to answer a question, right? So that's the way reality works. So it's like if I say, don't think about pink elephants, you can't help but think about a pink elephant. Right?
Yeah.
So if you say, why am I, instead of I am, it's actually really, really powerful. And especially right now, because the manifesting ability of the human race has gone through the roof with all this 5D frequency downloads. But we've dived right in, and we haven't told anybody why we're having this chat. So why don't you explain, do you mind explaining why you wanted to have a chat with me? Let's start.
Yeah, basically, look, I feel very alone. Yeah, I'm in chat groups with yourself, as you know that. And it all started beginning of it all started with the beginning of the lockdown. Obviously, I was worried, and I've never been a news fan. I've always felt it quite sort of negative, and felt it's never been honest, and you know, it's there to control you. So obviously, when all this come out, I was sat there at home, I was watching it, and I was thinking, oh my God, you know, this is the end and all this. And I bumped into a friend, and he said, look, just get away from the news, just anything. So I started watching YouTube and just sort of looking at things. And going through YouTube, I started going down different rabbit holes. It just kept giving me different rabbit holes to look at. And it was one after another. But I'm one of these people who was like, shall I, shan't I? I was like, yeah, I've got to. I can't help myself. I've got to have a look. I've got to have a look. And I did. And there are many things that I've come across, horrific things, good things, don't get me wrong. So the more I was delving into it, the more I started thinking, actually, what's real and what isn't. So I remember lying in bed one night. I was laid there and I was dozing, and literally out of nowhere, it was like a question come out of nowhere into my mind that said, do you want to know the truth?
Ooh.
And like, no different to how we're talking now. And I was literally just going, and I called out, yes, I want to know the truth. So the next day was a normal day, nothing had happened. But the following morning, this is when things started to get really, really weird. I woke up and I sprung out of bed, and I was buzzing all over. I was buzzing and I hadn't got a clue what was going on. And I was just like, oh my God, I just felt amazing. I felt on top of the world. I just felt like, what on earth is happening here? So this went on for weeks, and it went on for about 4 to 5 weeks. Every day I would be around my friends, and I would just be absolutely buzzing all over. And I mean, it's not a buzz, it's like a feeling, but I was buzzing, like a buzzing feeling. So I just get up, start dancing around his room, and he's like, you all right? I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I said, I'm telling you now, something's happened. I ain't got a clue. My mind went from being sort of blocked and thick to empty, as in my head was light. I felt light all the time. I was walking up to trees and I was touching them and I was talking to them, and I'm going to myself, what am I doing? What am I doing? What is going on with me? And I started Reiki. I was like, something's happening. I started Reiki, and I was going in the garden, and I was like meditating, and I was just sat in the garden listening to like healing frequency music, and felt on top of the world. But that was the real start of everything, and I had no idea, and I felt a calm within myself ever since then, I have felt my intuition be, you know, we've got to get through this to get to the other side. I get all that. And now, weird things are happening to me. I'm getting constantly buzzing ears.
I've had that for 2 years.
Constant. It's from the minute I wake up. It's ringing, buzzing. And from about here, from about here on the top of my head feels so heavy, and it feels like I don't know what's going on. It tingles. It feels like I get pulsating feelings. And the weirdest one, beyond weird, is pretty much most mornings when I wake up, I can be laid down asleep, not asleep, awake, just lay there, just watching a bit of YouTube while my head's coming round, and I'm still, but I can feel like, it feels like an energy just above my body, and it's doing this. It's vibrating constantly. I can be sat around my friends, just chilling, having a smoke, and I'll be relaxed. And all of a sudden, it'll start. I'll be sat there and I'll be looking at my legs to see if they're actually moving. And I feel like I'm moving, yet I'm not. It's weird feelings. It's weird feelings that I'm experiencing from this. It's like something's going on, but I have no answers. I've had tarot cards done. I've got Archangel Michael, and the things that come out and was presented to me were like, whoa. And I've been holding this in. My mom knows about it because my mom's very much, she listens to everything I say. She's on this side, if that makes sense. She's a believer, and she's going through cancer treatment at the moment. So I've given her this belief that she's just got to hold on for, I reckon, about 18 months max. I said, we'll get them med beds and get you healed.
Yeah.
Because I feel all this is coming. I've sort of seen it without seeing it in front of me. When I've been meditating, I've sort of seen a better world, if that makes sense. I've seen it there. I've seen it and I felt it.
Well, I'm feeling it listening to you, because what's happening with me is that every time somebody talks the truth, it just comes through me like a wave.
Yeah, I've got no reason to lie. This is why I've been following yourself and Lee, and obviously other people like Charlie Ward and everything, and I take on board, but I still go within myself to find out if what they're saying feels right.
Yeah.
And I'm so at peace.
That's wonderful.
But I have no answers for myself. People say, yeah, it's DNA upgrades, it's this, it's that, and you know, only like-minded people I'm able to connect to with what I'm actually saying, because anybody else, I'd be taken away and I'd be put in a mental hospital, because it does feel mental. It does, not mental to me, but to anybody else looking in on the outside who is a non-believer or somebody who is still very much fast asleep.
Well,
to them it would sound crazy. My friends have said, you need help. Even my ex-wife said, you need help. She stopped me seeing my son for a couple of months. And he's like, sorry?
That's awful.
Yeah. I've had friends dishing me, saying you're crazy, you've been led down a garden path. And I'm like,
what are they saying you're crazy about? They're saying you're crazy about the way that you're feeling?
Things that I'm saying, the things that I post, the things that I say. I absolutely wonder if anyone thinks that aliens don't exist. They're completely and utterly wrong. I absolutely, look, anyone with half a brain cell would realise that, you know, there are influences that are beyond our control. Whether it's about, it could be aliens, whether I don't believe what the government say about the COVID, whether it's, it could be quite a few scenarios that I've put into place. Off the top of me, I can't remember them all, but the basic ones, and vaccinations, that's another one. And people go, well, I've had my flu jab and I'm all right. And I'm like, you might be okay now. I said, but the long-term problems you're going to get later in life, you know, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, cancers are all down to a lot of it. Apart from that, I know our food, our water, but also in these vaccines as well. They're there to suppress you. They're there to control you. And I know that, and you know, I've tried getting it out there, and I've tried telling people. I've even told my ex-wife, and she's basically said, you can't see Sam. He's worried about you. Yeah, I spoke to my son. I've seen him now because she's agreed that the government are corrupt. But that's the only thing I can get her on, really. So I just play along that. Anything else, she's quite a negative person. So it's been very, that's a battle in itself.
It is. You know, I resonate with everything you've said. I mean, I've been called a nutter for years now. Most of my colleagues just find me amusing, which is
it's better that way because it gives you
the thing is, they know I'm really, really good at what I do.
Yeah.
So they kind of put up with me, you know. But it's you know, my kids think I'm my kids get my eldest son definitely gets me. I've got 4 others, and they do get me. They get me on a soul level, but you know, they're still being pumped with programming, and that's you know, that manifests itself in different ways. So, and it does take great courage to say the things you just said, because we're going to put this on YouTube, James, and I think I felt very strongly that I needed to start talking and you know, discovering my truth via talking to other people like you, because I think it's and what I guarantee is going to happen is that there will be comments underneath this video of people saying that they totally resonate with what you're saying, and this is amazing. I mean, just before our call, I got a message from somebody who lives down the road who saw an interview I did on YouTube. And she said, oh, by the way, I'm a homeopath and I've got frequency healing. I can sort out your pituitary gland, your pineal gland. I live next to a well. Bring your water canister down, come down. And I'm going to go and see you next week. And so what's amazing is that when you start discussing this, you start finding your tribe. And one way this has been put to me, which is really interesting, is that this is a realm and we are creating it. And some of us have been here since the beginning. And, you know, we actually created this. The energy of the earth created this. The human form is the pinnacle of this situation, but we've been tampered with. And it's the tampering that needs to be undone. And the tampering's allowed this sort of evil shit to come into the world. As this time unfolds, it is a case of trying to find out who's real and who's not, because a lot of the people in your life you'll find will just disappear. And
I can feel that sort of already. I'm having to back myself well away because I see them differently now.
They're a different color to us, actually, and this is
different. It's hard to explain. It seems different.
I've got quite a few what I call spiritual insiders. They're people that have, and they're all ordinary people, right? They're just like me and you. There's nothing, you know. They don't go around in hippie gear and you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're just normal people, right? And I'm having amazing conversations. I've just talked. I don't know if you saw my video the other day. I talked about the fact that the universe is created in boxes and we've moved from level 24 to 72, and it's all to do with numbers and stuff like that. The people that have told me that have just literally agreed to come on my channel soon to explain this, because it's absolutely fascinating. But it's also been described to me like, if you imagine this as a computer game, if you're doing Mario Kart or something, as you go through the game, the scenery is being created for you as you go through it.
It's not there until you get there.
It's not there till you get there, right? So that's a bit of a head fuck for most people. But a lot of the people on this planet are non-player characters.
Now that's another thing I was going to come to after you'd finished. So yeah.
which if a non-player character is watching this, they're gonna think, oh, who's that egotistical blah blah blah. But you know, I want to ask you this actually, because for me, I've been through a long dark night of the soul over the last few years, which was really about getting rid of my ego, even though my ego is still there, is nowhere near what it was. And that's hard to explain to people as well. If you're trying to say, look, you know, what I am finding is that everything's frequency, it's all run on numbers, numerology and everything else. We're going through this cleanup operation at the moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's actually a wonderful thing. You do sound like a nutter, don't you?
You do, of course. And, you know, when you say major players, you know, actors, the whole thing, this whole scenario, the whole everything at the moment, my observation is, and looking at it, that, you know, that everybody are actors within your own realm of your universe, on your reality. So, and the thing is, when you start thinking about that and you go out and you know that, everything just looks a stage.
But isn't it? You know, when I first realized that this was like virtual reality, it actually becomes more amazing.
It does. And that's how I see it. It is, yeah, because you see it differently.
You do.
You see it differently. You see it different from the again, I'm just your average Joe, you know, I'm James, you know. And that's how I see it. I'll go around to my Morrison's is just round the corner from me. And I get round there and everyone, and I mean everyone apart from me, is wearing masks.
Amen.
And I think all that goes through my head is, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
What on earth am I doing here? Why am I with these people? I shouldn't be here. This is wrong. This is so morally wrong. And I also sort of know that what's being dug out of us, I think every single human is, I think the darkest part of what's happened to everybody is coming to surface as well, like a world manifestation of the evil coming out of everybody and everything, that has to come forward so it can be exposed and be rid of, so we can move into the next stage of human evolution, or the next earth evolution, or whatever you want to call it. I could be clutching at straws, but I sort of because we're all one at the end of the day, so we're all connected as one. So it's like a manifestation of all of us at the same time without realizing it. It's all being brought up from within us.
My understanding is that we are fractals of the same energy, and that energy is Gaia energy, which is male and female. And we've been here millions of times, a lot of us. And the reason why all this stuff about SRA and paedophilia and all that kind of stuff has come out is because it's like the negative information has to come out. I mean, I've known about this stuff for a very long time. It has to come out because it's getting transmuted and into the light. So, you know, and we've already ascended. And what's happening is that all that negative stuff is literally just going to drop away.
Yeah.
And then we're going to see the world as it's supposed to be, because it's been under a virus. It's been
for thousands of years. Even like I've delved into a little bit of history, you know, with everything going on, and obviously looking down all these rabbit holes and stuff, you know, you sort to realise that, you know, this has been going on thousands of years.
Oh yeah.
The deception has been going on for thousands of years, if not longer than that. If the plan was already seeded by the evil, or however you want to call it, much before then.
Well, time doesn't really exist. And one of the
I've lost you there, Mark.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. James, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello, James. Right, you're back.
That's all right. I think it felt like something was trying to cut us off there for a second.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Don't worry about it.
Oh, right, okay.
You just gotta send it away.
That's all right. Good idea.
What was I saying? Yeah, time doesn't exist. So one of the things that fascinates me is the story of Tesla when he was at the tower that JP Morgan funded when he discovered, well, when he basically put together the towers to create and distribute free energy. He said he stood between the two electrical arcs, and while he was inside those two arcs, he could see all of time, past, present, and future. And he wrote this up, and it was Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, that actually...
That got all the paperwork. Yes, I've seen all that. And
he didn't just get the paperwork, he actually worked with Tesla, because Tesla published a paper on time travel, and Trump's uncle was like a physicist, I think, who then got in touch and then worked with him. And I think this is explaining a lot of things that are going on with Donald Trump, because...
the guy's amazing. The guy is just what he's doing. Everything he's doing is so clever. It's just
unbelievable.
I just smile.
You see it.
I smile. It just makes me smile. People are like, my mates are going, oh, so cool, mates. Look, your mate's got COVID. I said, it's all smoke and mirrors. All smoke.
Did you see him yesterday?
They just don't get it.
You see him yesterday. He did the video and he just went, "Hey, it's your favorite president."
Yeah. It was brilliant. I just smiled. Smiled. And, for the future, I certainly see a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. And I see, because, I'm a positive person, even in a negative situation. I try and be positive. It's always been my mentality. And I feel 100% that we will be having the Tesla coils all around the earth. We will be going into, I believe it's already happening now.
Yeah.
It's probably already happening now. And obviously, when we get past this, humanity are gonna have such a shock.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Yeah, I am excited. In myself. I'm like, yes, come on, bring it on now. Rubbing my hands.
Can I ask you a question? Up to this year, did you ever get depressed? Did you ever get
yes, badly?
Yeah,
badly.
I felt like
3 years.
I felt like I was in Groundhog Day. Do you remember that film?
All the time.
I just remember waking up in the shower going, oh, I'm in the shower again. Oh, God, I've got to do another day.
Yeah, every time. I suffered from anxiety, depression. I know it's an illusion, but that's how it's pushed onto you. And actually, since that activation or whatever's happened, it doesn't exist anymore. I don't see it or feel it. Yeah, I might lack a bit of motivation on one or two things, but it's certainly not an anxiety or a depression of any kind. It just felt like it was ripped out of me.
That's a wonderful thing. And, I was just thinking about the people that think that you're a nutter, right? Yet they're the ones in the face of scientific facts believing this bullshit.
Yeah.
They're the ones believing in this nonsensical science fiction Monty Python movie that's going on in front of us. It's just hilarious, really.
And what people, it's mad. And what people are going to have another shock is when they find out science has been wrong. Well, NASA, we know there's 2 NASAs.
So what does that stand for? Not a space agency?
Not a space agency. And how false, by watching videos, it really is. And you see past it and you think, fucking hell, I've been duped into this myself. Sorry for swearing. I've been duped into falling for this and the planets, the way they are. Look.
Did you see? Can I ask you? Did you see the SpaceX rocket launch earlier on this year?
I didn't know. I didn't have the
of it. You got to look this up because you'll love this, right? So the rocket launches and there's a camera on the rocket, and as it's going into space, there's a little mouse on the rocket that runs.
Yeah, I did see that. Sorry, that bit. Yes, I seen that clip of that video,
and that was broadcast
straight away.
I mean, if they're not taking the mickey, I don't know what How can you? They're leaving clues everywhere, and it's all comedy. There's just loads of. I mean, people are dying of stuff, right? And it's all very terrible. But actually, the death rate is down.
Correct.
And people have forgotten that people die. It's so amazing.
It's mad that everyone else is dying of COVID, but nothing else.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is where I sort of feel for people, certainly the older generation, which is such a shame because they're scared out their wits.
I know, it's awful.
The thing is, they've been plugged into this system from when it first started, when once TVs and everything.
Yeah, but so were me and you.
Yeah,
So
no, I agree.
And it's our soul. It's our soul journey. Everybody's individual soul journey, right, is about fulfilling a contract, but also everybody chose to be here right now.
At this time, oh yeah,
we all chose to be here, and we've all got a part to play, every one of us, because we're all part of the same energy.
Correct.
And that is the most exciting thing to me. And it's a bit strange as well because, you know, I'm getting shifted every week. You know, like I'm getting, you know, right now you've done that. Now you need to go here and do this. And then you need to go and do that. And I've spent until last night, actually, at about 10 o'clock, I was exhausted. I've just been going to bed in the afternoon. Kids say, oh, you're getting old, Dad. It's not actually that.
No, I'm drained. In the day, I get drained. Sometimes I wake up at stupid o'clock in the morning for whatever reason. I just wake up and I'm like, oh. And there are points in the day where I think with the ear ringing and like I said, with the feeling I get at the top of my head all the time, like it's, you know, it's like a pulse, like yeah, it's draining. It is draining. I do feel drained. So when I meant about lack of motivation, that is because of what's going on or what's happening to me. That's how I feel. I feel drained. I feel like I could just go to sleep and just have a couple of hours. You know, I'm 44. The thought of it shouldn't even be on my mind at this time in my life. Not a chance. But I sort of see it through and then have my relaxation at night time in what I do, just have a relax. And I tend to sleep relatively well. I've got sleep apnea as well, so I have to wear a mask when I sleep because I hold my breath. But I can absolutely 100% say I can agree with you in exactly what you just said there. I get that where I just want to be left alone. I just want to go and have a lie down, or I just want to have complete out of everything at the moment. It's crazy. And I never used to be like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And when you say you don't know what it means for you and everything else, you actually contradict yourself a little bit because you have already seen a version of the future. You know it's coming. That's why you feel calm. You're doing work on because you're multi-dimensional, right? So this James and Mark, well, this is just one tiny aspect of what we really are. So there's all this other work going on, and that's the thing that's exhausting. Because it's like a massive cleanup operation. And that's literally physically going on around the world right now as well. I think, you know, there's a massive military exercise going on off the coast of Ireland.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that's where I believe Donald Trump was.
Which is a week after loads of military vehicles were seen getting off ships coming into Cork last week, which weirdly coincides with this new level 3 lockdown, which started yesterday. So, you know, stuff's happening. And you felt compelled to contact me, which is why we're now doing this chat on here. And what I think that is it's like these doors get put in front of you and you get invited through. And then it's up to you whether you go through them or not. And every time you do, you're actually moving up.
Yeah. It's, you know, I never thought in 100 years that I'd be having this conversation, but it's been eating away at me to
you can't. It's compelling, isn't it? You can't not do it.
Yeah, you're constantly pushed without you realizing it by something deeper within inside yourself to come forward and tell your experiences or what's happening and how you feel, because it's not normal. We know it's not normal what's going on, but having to try and get that out there and try and explain to people that aren't like-minded, you might as well hit your head against a brick wall.
It's impossible.
You're not going to get anything. So I had to come. Charlie's big. I understand that. Charlie's really big and he's flat out. I know you're getting big now. And I watched your videos with Lee and I connected straight away. And I was like, you know what? And that was it. Straight away, I thought, I've got to contact Mark one way. And even though we're on the same chats, that's why I managed to get in contact with you. So I felt it was for me, and I actually do feel a lot better having to explain what's happened. I've explained to my son into some detail. He's 13, nearly 14, and he believes a lot of what I say anyway. I've said to him, look, I've never lied to you in your life, apart from Santa Claus. He just sort of laughed and said, well, all kids need to have that belief for Father Christmas. So I had to. Something kept telling me over and over and over again. And it was like, where do I go? Who can I speak to? And then straight away, when I watched that video with you and Lee, I was like, I just felt everything that what you were both talking about. And I was like, right, I wonder if Mark's on the chat. There he is. And that's why I had to. So
yeah. Well, you know what's really amazing is that just having these conversations and broadcasting, just the act of having these conversations is a spiritual act in and of itself, right?
Correct, because it shows the people that are awake. Sometimes,
when I'm 3D, and I'm feeling a bit, locked into the world, I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this YouTube channel? What am I doing, right? But then I get these incredible messages and I meet incredible people like you. And I had a message the other day. I mean, I was sat in the cafe the other day and I just did a 20-minute chat. I didn't cover everything I wanted to cover, but I just discussed some stuff. And I got a message last night from somebody saying, I've watched that over and over and over again, and I've been in tears, and I connected with it. And it's like, wow, and that is part of finding your purpose, because I spent the last 20 years bringing up kids and just making money. Right?
Making
money. And it got so depressing that my purpose was just to make money, that, I drank too much. My marriage ended. It was awful. It was.
Yeah, look, listen, I mean, I can resonate, I've been part of the program myself, and, it's,
not how
you go to work, anything just to earn your money, and then you get paid, you pay it all out. It's the same repetitive, and you're wondering if you can afford a holiday this year, and you get worried about paying your bills, or there's going to be enough food on the table. I've been down that road, and, we're still all part of this 3D at the moment with some things, but the way we think with our consciousness, certainly with like-minded people, you're able to express yourself on a higher level, which obviously is a sign of a higher consciousness.
It's it just reminded me then of a conversation I had with my dad when I was 17, and it was on the stairs in the house. And my dad was deep, but this was like a week before he died, because he died at the age of 37 from a brain hemorrhage, and I had to turn the life support machine off at the age of 17. And he stood at the top of the stairs and he just looked at me and he went, "There isn't anything else. This is it." And I didn't agree with him, but I was my dad, so I listened to him, right? And then a week later he was dead. And I spent like the next 20 years just hating God. I remember shouting up at the sky with a bottle of whiskey in my hand going, "I hate you," and just not understanding it. Now I realize that's all part of the soul purpose. But then I look at my dad's life, and my dad works in a factory his whole life just to bring me up and my brother. And I remember looking at his life thinking, my God, he's doing this day in and day out, and he's treated like shit. He gets paid fuck all. And, then he had to borrow money to do things to the house, and then he died. And it was like, well, what was the point of that?
And that's how I can resonate to how it is with my mom at the moment. She's 67, and bless her, I love her dearly. It's amazing.
My mum probably lives near your mum.
Sorry?
My mum probably lives near your mum. They should get together.
Yeah, definitely.
She lives near Stourbridge.
Stourbridge?
West Midlands.
We're not that far away, actually. Obviously, my mum lives in little village called Salford. It's only 6 or 7 miles from here. The Stourbridge isn't that far away, actually.
No, we'll get them together.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's arrange that, because that'd be nice for my mum. And like when you just said there about your dad, you know, my mum, she started working 15, got married. She had my sister when she was something like 19. Not with my dad. This was obviously, we're going back many years now, 48, 49 years ago. Then married my dad, looked after kids, worked, went through the horrors of the life, worked all your life, finally retired, and then to get diagnosed with cancer.
It's shit.
And I'm like, you know, how fucking dare, you know what I mean? 67, and you're having to go through this, and you know, and my mum, luckily, she's very positive, and she's really good within herself. She's tired. You can see it's taking its toll, but she knows about the med bed. She watches a lot of Charlie Ward, so I give her that hope, and I tell her what I feel and what I know within myself. And she said, James, if it wasn't for you, I'd be going mad by now. She goes, you're the only one that's keeping me sane. So
well, I hope my mum would say the same thing about me. Even though all of her friends think she's a nutter, but I got her through cancer with, I helped her through with, she juices every morning. She has a green juice every morning with turmeric and avocado and lemon. Lemon is really important. Have you seen the natural quinine recipe that I've talked about on here before?
Yes, I've seen on, you take the peels off the lemon, you put it into the water, put it in the slow cooker.
Lemon and grapefruit. Lemon and
grapefruit skins as
organic, unwaxed, but lemon and grapefruit. Grapefruit's the important one. But slow cook it. I just take a swig of that every morning with some zinc. You know, CBD oil. CBD is incredible. Get your mum on CBD.
Yeah, I'll have to get. So we did try on. I did buy a load of packs of essential oils with lemon oil, frankincense.
Yeah,
but she put it on her stomach and her chest, because that's part of where the cancers are. Because my Reiki master, she'd been saying what to do, but she's nearly sick taking the frank. Actually, physically taking it.
Yeah,
I've tried telling her about the juicing. At the moment, she's struggling to do anything.
Yeah.
So at the moment, for her breathing, because part of the cancer's in the lung as well. So I've got her a machine, and you put the droplets into water.
I've got one here.
And that's it. And it's like a eucalyptus type smell, and she breathes down in at night time and stuff. So
nebulizer. It's a nebulizer.
Yeah, that's it, a bit like that. And she said that her last meeting with the doctors, she said she's got at least 2 to 4 years, but they said 2 to 4 years minimum. So
doctors are not to be trusted. It's not their fault. But this is why my mum and your mum should get together, because you know, she's been through it. My mum's been through it.
Lovely, that'd be great. You know, at some point next couple of days, I'll message you and definitely get some contacts, and I'll get my mum to contact as well, because it'd be good for me mum. My brother and my sister are very shut down to all this as well. It's
my brother defriended me on Facebook a few years ago because he said, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You can't make this up. You can't make this up for one moment. You cannot make this up.
I've said for a while now that my decision to come out of the closet, as it were, was based upon a really simple thing. That I've known about the New World Order for a long time. I knew that there was a massive plan, and a virus was always part of that plan. So when it happened, I was like, okay, so if the bad guys are going to win, I don't want to live in that world.
No, of course.
I do not want to live in this fucking world, right?
Yeah.
I will not be vaccinated. I will not be hit. I will not be traced and tracked.
Correct.
You can go and fuck yourself. I'm not going to live in that world, right?
Great.
And if they did win, we'd be dead anyway, because they've said they want to kill 6-7 billion people. So that means...
Yeah, the Georgian tablet said that humanity should only be 500 million people.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's evil.
Yeah,
That is evil. That's been done by dark forces.
Exactly. So what have I got to lose? Because I don't want to live in that world. I don't want to live there. I refuse to live there. If I have to die, then fuck it, I'll die. So,
correct. But we don't die.
Exactly.
Die.
So the alternative was, I'm going to have to start talking, because I've got all this knowledge and all this experience and all this journey and everything, and just to explore and see if other people are out there. And my God, my life has changed beyond belief in the last 3 months.
Oh, amazing. I'm like, it again, you know, for a while I've had to hold this in and try and explain to people. I just try and keep people on the basis and the facts of the COVID-19 was downgraded. It's all there on the website. It's all there.
Yeah.
And you don't need a mask. It is the biggest hoax in history. I said, you've got to see. But people still look at it and go, well, we've got a virus, so we've got to wear a mask still. And you're like...
Well, it's like Stockholm Syndrome, because people are so used to vibrating at the frequency of fear, because it's been programmed into us from birth and before birth.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable to let go. Even though it's horrible, being in a state of fear, it's very familiar. So people cling to it.
Yeah.
And they have white knuckle syndrome. Well, I call it white knuckle. They're clinging to the side of the swimming pool like this. Right?
Holding on for dear life.
What we're doing is going to come in. The water's lovely.
Correct.
Right? Because it is.
I have managed to sway quite a few people, not millions, but I have spoke to a few people. I've chat with them, and I have managed to get people to believe that it's fake, to believe it's real, and it's very difficult to go beyond that if they're not ready to.
No, it's all about them being ready to. Most of the people that wake up are people that have always known that something's wrong, and just never been able to voice it, or never been able to, but all they've got to do is go. It's like people, I mean, I've had friends slag off David Icke, for example, for years, right? And then my question to them is, well, have you ever read one of his books? And the answer is always no.
Yeah, correct.
So, you believe in the lizard. I saw a guy the other day, and he says, how are you? I've not seen him for months, and nice guy. And I said, how's it going? And he was like, well, this new lockdown, they better close the ports and close the airports, because last time they didn't, and all these people were getting in, infecting everybody. And I said, it's a fucking hoax, don't you? He said, oh, and he went, oh, I suppose the lizard people are underground eating the children, are they? I said, that's exactly what's happening. And he got in the car and he drove off. He couldn't drive off fast enough. So what was interesting about that is that in his consciousness, he already knew the truth.
It was already planted there. It was already planted.
But it's inside everybody. We all know the truth. We all know the truth inherently, but it's too painful for some people to face. And people haven't got the courage. I have to applaud you for having the courage to talk about this.
Yeah, of course.
The very act of saying it out loud actually changes everything, because we're all connected.
Yeah, we are. And that's 100% what I believe. And you could have asked me a lot of this stuff a year or two, even a couple of years ago. Some of it I could resonate with, and I've watched a lot of David Icke stuff, to be fair, over the years. And some of this stuff he come out with, a 10-hour Wembley one or something like that. He did.
I went to the Wembley one in 2012. I was there. I was there, yeah. It
was what he did for about 10 hours, was it?
10 hours. 10 hours.
Yeah, something like that. And I watched it. And I was like,
I'm in the audience.
Oh, you were there. And I watched it, and I didn't watch it all in one day. I mean, 10 hours is a lot, but I remember watching it over 2 or 3 days, and I was absolutely outstanded by it. And I watched it about 3 years ago. So I've known for a few years things haven't been right. It hasn't been right, but you can't point your finger on it because you're not sure. You can't really talk to anybody about it because you'd feel like you were losing your marbles. And then it does sound like you'd be losing your marbles, but you're not. It's the truth.
It's the opposite.
It's the truth.
It's the truth, I know.
That's the thing. That's the truth.
The hardest thing is to get people not watching the TV. That's really, really.
Everything seems fake on the telly now.
As soon as you turn the TV off, it's incredible.
It's fake. It's fake. Everything looks like it's all just fake acting. It's just everything's fake on there. I do watch YouTube because obviously I like to listen to what people like yourself and other people, and I've got a few people that I watch. Normal TV, cannot stand it. I cannot stand it because I know I'm just watching bullshit. Basically, anything. That's anything.
Well, no, it's everything. That's why they call it. That's why they call them programs. They don't
programming this.
They don't call them shows. They don't call them shows. They call them programs because they program your mind.
Correct.
But fluoride is the other thing. Anybody watching this, if you're brushing your teeth with fluoride toothpaste, stop right now.
I have Biomed natural toothpaste, and I have a water purifier at home. So I only buy bottled water. I never drink out the tap. I buy bottled water, and it goes through my purifier. It gets any of the extra heavy elements and any chlorine in there, so it's pure. So when I do juice as well, it's pure water, and it's any coffee or any hot drinks. I've gone to sort of green tea a bit now and started stepping a little bit away from coffee because I was addicted to coffee.
Yeah, well, I still am.
I do like coffee. I'm not going to ever stop drinking it, but I mean, I was drinking 10, 15 a day without even thinking about it.
Well, it's really funny, isn't it? If you look at society, you've got pubs on every corner, you've got coffee shops on every corner, but you haven't got any shops selling cannabis or mushrooms or peyote.
Correct.
And all of those plants connect you.
They're amazing for you. Amazing.
They connect you to God. They're medicine, but they're illegal, right?
Correct.
But alcohol, right, which it literally opens you up to demonic possession. You do that all day long.
Correct. And I seen a caption the other day. It was an evil spirit, and it was saying about alcohol, and the word was slightly changed for al with a hyphen, cool or something like that.
It's a ghoul.
Yeah. And it was saying, and the word spirits and
spirits, it's all there, right?
Spirits.
And gin.
And I've never been a big drinker in my life.
What does the word gin mean?
Exactly, it's a genie. It's evil. It's gin. It's horrible.
Not necessarily the evil thing. There's a question, but in Arabic countries, jinn is the demons, basically.
Yeah.
So and they I lived in Morocco. They have a very, very acute awareness of the jinn, right? And I know it's spelt differently, but jinn, what do they call it? Mother's ruin. Why? Because it makes you depressed. Where does depression come from? Demonic entities.
Correct.
Anybody watching this at the moment that's feeling down or depressed or has got suicidal thoughts or anything like that, that is the satanic energy that's
making onto you. It's holding on to you,
putting those thoughts inside you.
Correct. Yeah. And it's the people that are in the 3D reality mindset consciousness who are gonna find it very hard to pull away. People like yourself and me, like I say, we are consciously higher, so or vibrating higher.
Well,
so I don't feel it.
Well, this brings up a good thing as well, because I got somebody sent me a message this morning saying, "Oh, you haven't been in touch with me for ages. Is it because you're vibrating at a higher frequency than me?" It's like competition or something. It's not like that. Saying that you vibrate higher makes you sound like you're superior in some way. It is.
Yeah, that's not what I mean.
No, you didn't. I'm just making that clear for anybody watching, because I want to make it clear that I'm just a bloke in a kitchen talking to people, exploring the nature of reality and the nature of this spiritual human existence, right?
That's what's going on.
And I'm meeting amazing people. They're getting visions, inside information, all sorts of, and it's fascinating because how can it not be fascinating? Because it's basically
amazing. I love it.
What is the meaning of life, right? That's what it is.
It's amazing, and I love it. I love it. I absolutely, there's no other word about it. It makes me smile, regardless of what's going on. I smile, I laugh, and I just can't help it. I just can't help myself. It's crazy. I just laugh, and people are saying to me, oh, what happens? Trump's bad and he's another bad guy. And I'm like, please. I said, just sit back. Just try not to be fearful. Don't worry about anything. This has all got to play out. That's all I try and tell people in a basic wording, if I can put it without going into vibrating higher frequencies and, you know, seeing things, whatever. I just try and keep it some of the things simple, like you do. You try and keep it simple.
Try to,
but when you get people talking like yourselves, you can talk a bit more openly about what you're thinking and what you're saying and what you know.
Well, what's your son called?
Sam.
Sam, if you're watching this, your dad's not a nutter. Right?
He probably will watch.
He's not a nutter. I'm telling you, he's not a nutter. He knows what's going on. You should listen to him.
Thank you. I've got somebody who wants to say hello. David Gregory. I was messaging him this morning.
Hello, David. How are you?
So when he says this, I said, he goes, give Mark my hello for me. So I'll definitely pass on that.
David's got a YouTube channel. I can't remember what it's called, but I did an interview with David early on in this channel. There's a link to it.
Right, I'll have a look.
Yeah, have a look down the videos. Lovely fella, a fellow warrior and a fellow discoverer, and one of the clan, which is just.
It's mad that how many new friends or soul family, or whatever you want to call it, through this that I have made.
There you go.
And had to let go of the old and block them and take them out of my life, because you feel their negativity, you feel they're trying to eat away at you and pull you back down. That's the feeling I get.
And it's not their fault, you see, because
it's not. No, because they don't know yet.
They don't know. I mean, the energy is coming through the earth because there are literally demons beneath the earth that feed off our loosh, our negative energy. And although the head of the snake has been taken out, there are still lots of them there, and they are being taken out. But the energy,
they're going to fight and fight and fight and fight.
Well, the way Lee Owen puts it, which I think is absolutely right, is that it kind of comes out of the ground and then it sort of wraps itself around your leg and comes up like this. And you've just got to start becoming aware of it and then getting rid of it.
And actually, that's when I feel negative around me, because, you know, you're going to have good and negative around you all the time. There's a balance, you know, it's which way you are aware of which.
Yeah.
And having that, being able to notice or feel things are swaying, let's say negative, and being able to deal with it, noticing what's actually going on. And I will stand there, and if I can feel it, I will stop. I will go, whoa, stop, go away. You're not welcome by me or in me. Go, disappear. And I would say things like, it's crazy what I would say. I've stood there and said, I command my spirit to put my thoughts into my heart, or I command my spirit to increase my life force energy. And I start to feel even more unbelievable, just feel amazing through doing these other things. And I can sort of notice and deal with it in the way that suits me best, and it seems to work. That's all.
Well, you're doing amazing stuff, and you're obviously, you know, there will be people watching this who will be so grateful for the fact that you know, because every time we do this, we give somebody else more courage, and that courage to just be authentic and be yourself and align with this stuff is not to be underestimated. Correct.
It's very real. Anybody who thinks that evil doesn't exist, really need to think they do. It does exist. Be aware of what's around you, not physically, but just energy-wise, and notice if it's fearful, if it's angry, it's hatred. You know, start to work within yourself to practice and learn to just work, pushing it away, because it will work if you keep at it.
It is it is the eternal struggle.
It is, yes, it is.
And
it is. That's the good and the evil. That is, I get that 100%.
I can't wait to be the other side of it, though. It is exhausting.
Yeah, mate. when all this is over, I am gonna meet you all after
Party
all
time.
this is over. And I
I'm really
would
looking
love
forward to the
to.
party.
Oh, there's 100% on there. Sign me up. My name's down on the list.
Yeah. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge, and it's going to last for years.
It's going to be amazing, and I cannot wait. It's good. You know, year from now, already things would have already changed a fair bit. 10 years from now, humanity is going to look different.
Good, because by that time I'll be bloody old, so I want these med beds to come in so I can go back in age and enjoy it.
Yes, I'm going to do exactly the same. I think that, you know what? I'll go back to 25.
I was thinking 27. Yeah.
Because that's all coming. That's all coming.
Yeah.
It's exciting, Mark.
I was still good looking back then. So,
well, I can hide the grey hairs anyway.
Well, look, it's been brilliant talking
Mark,
to you, James. Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure, mate. I'll keep in contact, and I'll arrange when you're free the next few days or something. Get some details with your mum, and I'll get my mum's details.
Let's get them together.
Pass them forward. Yeah, definitely. That'd be great for my mum.
I'm going to teach my mum how to do a video, and she can make a little video. We'll put it up.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Wouldn't it be
That'd
good?
be brilliant.
Oh,
yeah, it'd be amazing. Thank
right,
you.
brilliant.
Mark,
Thank
thank you very much for your time today. It's been absolutely brilliant. I've loved this, and I'd love to do another one with Lee, possibly. If he can any more insights, the better it is. The more knowledge, the better.
Well, we're doing a big one with Lee Owen and JCK on Monday, which is all about spotting entities and how to remove them. That's going to be a big one. So
yeah, I'll be watching that 100%. That's going to be brilliant. I'll look forward to that.
Yeah. All right. Brilliant.
Mark, thanks very much, mate. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
All right. Take care. All right. Bye. Bye. Bye.